Hello everybody, welcome back to another edition of the EcoStruxure Automation Expert Training. I'm your host, Andromeda, and in this video what we're going to see is how we can map our application to the resource of one of the PLCs. So let's go to the presentation. So let me just open the pan. So far what we have done is the application, and mapping basically is to link it to a specific resource. Okay, we are going to see in details what it is. So far we have added this into our application. We have already explained what is an application, where you can find it. Okay, so now what we need to do is to link to the device. So in the standard of the 61499, the device, this can be the structure of the device. So we have the device as a whole, and then we have the communication interface that allows to communicate to other devices programmed by the software. And then we have the processing interface that's going to do everything inside. And then we have the resources, okay, inside the controller. Okay, now in the PLC, how we can see this in this theory in the software. Okay, basically what we need to do is to open the system. Once we open the system part, we should be able to see our application, which is one part, and then the PLCs. Here we can have different PLCs, PLC 2, 3, and so on, and each PLC can have different resources. Okay, so if we open the PLC 01, we should be able to see this resource over here, but it doesn't mean that I can only work with one. I can work with multiple ones. Okay, so right click over here and then just add a resources. At this point, I really don't see the point of working with different resources in the M251. I just really don't see how it works, but you can do it. Probably it's much better when you have the soft dPAC, so you can take advantage of the multiple processors that you have. But at this point, I don't see the point. So if we go to the application, okay, so let me just close this part. Yes, current settings. We have the system. If we open system, we should be able to find application. Just bear with me a second. We have the physical devices, hardware, function blocks. Here on the function blocks, we have two different things. We have application and we have the device. Okay, if we go to the device, we should be able to see the resources. So if you right click over here, resource, project, it will add another resource. Okay, and if you take a look inside, it has this information. Okay, that gives information about call, warn, stop, or online change of this particular device. So if we go back, we should see the other one. It just have the same. Now, if we go to system, it have application, and it has our actual application. You can see here in the system, we have two different things. We have application, and we have our resource for the device. Now, if we continue with this will sum up everything. So we have the application on one side, and we have the devices, and each device has resources. What is missing right now for us is to link this application. In our case, it's only working with one. Okay, to link this application to this resource. Okay, and this is what is missing, and this is what we need to do in order to make it work. So, but I believe you get the idea how important it is to link, to how separate are the things, so we can link later with any device. So if we open the actual application, okay, not the resource part, the application, and we right click in one of the CAD instances that we have, we should be able to see this mapping. And the mapping will help us to link our application to a specific resource. Okay, you can see here that I have two PLCs with 3 different resources, and this is what I see over here. Okay, Probably here is missing something, didn't save it, but here is what I meant. You have the possibility to select which is the resource that is going to execute that code. Okay, so what we need to do now is to link the devices or the cat instance to the application that we want. And pay attention that there is a small indication that can give us the idea that a cat instance or function block, something is called in a place. So if we take a look over here, by default it has this, nothing. As soon as it's linked, it has this chain icon, I guess. Okay, this over here. Okay, so let's try to do that. So let's go to our application here. So application and the device. I will go to the application, right click, mapping. I have two PLCs here, and I have created a different resource. Let me just save this. Have another resource. So I'm going to save this, mapping, resource 01, and this one resource 0, and the other one. So if we go back the system and select devices, I have two different resources, and resource 1, 0, I have this, okay, and in the resource 1, I have the other part. You can see here how it linked it internally, this part, and this link is made, if I'm not wrong, okay, using this part, the process interface. Okay. I haven't linked everything, just bear with me a second. So I'm going to remove this from here, and you can see on the, just bear with me, system application, the indication is gone. So I need to link again everything. And there we go. Okay, let's link it again. So as soon as we have this, if we go to system again, instead of going to application, we go to devices, and we enter into the resource 0 that we have. The application is in there. Okay, and we can still play with this just to see how it's connected. Okay, we can do more in case we want it. Okay, but I recommend you to leave it as it, because already done on the application. Okay, so far we have linked the application to the device, which is good, which is what we wanted. So we are in this stage. Okay, the resources is linked, which is good. Now if we open this, perfect, I believe you already got it. Now this is a function block that is in here, okay, in order to give us signals, the signal called warn, start, on, and change, to execute something in our resource that we have on the controller. Now what we need for this particular dPAC controller is to add this function block. Okay, so we need to add this function block. This is what I wanted to show you, the final connection, but I spoiled it. Okay, so we need to add the dPAC function. So if we enter again here in the resource, we can Control W, dPAC, put init, and we have this function block. Okay, so here we can init our conveyor in case we want it. Okay, so we can have it over here. And if you pay attention, this one and this one doesn't have any icon. Okay, that means because I'm using the block directly inside the resource. Okay, and if we go back to the system, that dPAC or the other one is not in here. Okay, so if we go back, resource 0, we can see this. So let's take a look again and see if I'm missing something. Only change. Okay, warn, and online change. Oops. Okay, so this is mandatory in order to activate the dPAC. Okay, that's why it's important to have. Otherwise, if you use this directly over here, it's not going to work. Okay, so let me just check if I forget something. No, that's it. So at the moment, what we have done so far is to link the application to the resource inside the controller. Okay, that is something important. What is missing is to link our IOs to our software. So far, we haven't done that part. We have defined the TM trees, and that's it. So in the next video, what we're going to see is how to do that. So thank you very much for watching this video, and I see you on the next one.